Insulate your home's attic. Have you been waking up in the morning and feeling a little bit colder than normal? Sure, it could be a sign of your age and that the cold affects you more. The chances that it's a colder than normal fall or winter are probably higher. It might be time to do something about the chill in the house. But what options do you have? The house is already built, so there isn't a whole lot you can do, right? When it comes to reinforcing your house's insulation, there are still a few things that can be done to improve the level of heat. Older homes can benefit from adding a layer of attic insulation in a house before the winter weather strikes. The benefits of attic insulation. When a house is built, there are certain minimum requirements every house must meet when it comes to insulation. Unless a person specifically requests extra insulation for their own house, then a builder will only do the minimum required in order to pass inspections. More insulation can always be added in the building process, but there will be an added expense. Since builders are always looking to keep expenses down, this is usually one area where it's done. While the insulation is a nice thing to have in the wintertime to keep the furnace from working a lot, the insulation also works in the summer too. Insulation keeps heat in just as it can keep cooler air in. The insulation works all year long to keep whatever air is inside the house inside and keep the temperature of the air you don't want at the time out. The more insulation you have, the easier this process will be. The more insulation you have in the attic or even the walls of your house will mean the less time the furnace or the air conditioning will have to run and try and maintain a certain temperature. The expense of attic insulation. There's a huge range of prices for insulation you add to the attic. Depending on the type of insulation and its thickness, that'll determine the price, but it will usually be several $100s. Blown-in insulation will cost more because a person or company has to come out and set up their stuff, and then they can finally use the insulation that's within their truck. Rolls of insulation can be added by hand, and they don't take too much time. A contractor will also be able to add in rolls of insulation if you don't know how, or if you don't have the time to do it yourself. A few rolls up in the attic can go a long way towards energy conservation. The expense of adding attic insulation is usually made up in a year or two with reduced energy bills. Lower bills during the summer and the winter can really add up. Saving money and not dealing with a drafty, cool house in the winter is a benefit of attic insulation. Having a nice, cool house in the summer without paying a fortune for the air conditioning is also a nice perk of added attic insulation.